What's up, YouTube? Eboya here, and today I'll be kicking off my Learning Magic the Gathering series. Uh, this video will just be like an overview of, and I guess like a roadmap of what's to come in this series. Um, Mostly because I didn't really know how to best approach this. I wanted to break it up because doing it all at once is a bit much, I feel like, especially for like trying to like genuinely learn instead of. I mean, I'm fine if you put me on in the background and like do something else. It's not a big deal. But for those who actually are really like invested in this, uh, that kind of sounded like a dig at the people who aren't. But uh, I want this to be like good, you know. But yeah, I'll just be like very general in this video and try to show like what's to come instead of actually really getting into anything. But uh, in the interest of that, I'm gonna like try to keep this short. But yeah, so I think I'll probably break it up into videos based off of like each of the different card types. And this time I'll just give a general overview of like the different colors in Magic and their like general like themes and motifs. Um, yeah, let's get into it. So Magic has 5 colors: white, blue, black, red, green, and then colorless. It doesn't really get included in the count of like the colors, but it is there. Uh, yeah, so a card can be, you know, any one of the 5 colors. It can have more than one color. It can be colorless, which means like 0 colors. Uh, yeah, we're looking at white colored cards right now. And the general motif of white is life gain, angels, purity, that kind of thing. So you'll see a lot of like clerics, so there's some knights in there. Um, a lot of like you gain, life kind of things. Um, yeah, and then like I said, angels, uh, and a lot of like massive amounts of creatures in there as well. And there's some, yeah, so like stuff like this, which will buff like each creature you have, so they're better the more creatures that you have. And then a lot of like token generation like this. We'll get into all of like creatures and tokens and all that uh, in the coming videos. But the that's the general motif of white. Blue Blue is more like knowledge and magic. Name drop. Uh, but like non creature magic card. Like I'm struggling for words here because I would normally want to say like spell, but that happens to be a very poor choice of word because in Magic everything that's not a land card is considered a spell, which is kind of unintuitive, but like what would normally be considered a spell would be the instants and the sorceries in Magic, and blue is kind of known for that, like spell slinging, I guess. Drawing cards, being kind of sneaky, if you will. Anything that kind of falls under that umbrella is generally what you can expect from blue. Uh, and honestly, just being an all-around nuisance is usually what blue is known for. Yeah, I mean that's about all there's to say. I feel like one thing that's like pretty much only found in blue is uh, what are like a class of instants called counter spells, and They're really, really annoying. Basically, it's like an Uno reverse card of, like, you try to play something and a blue player can just, like, play a counter spell, and if you don't have any response, it just, like, says, like, "No, you didn't play that." Like, we'll get into this later, but that's sort of what blue is all about. Then black is, the theme is sort of death, skeletons, zombies, demons, uh, life manipulation, that kinda thing, sacrifice, you can see skeletons, that kinda thing. Uh, discard is a big one, actually. You can force your opponent to discard stuff from their hand. Uh, some of the best removal cards are in black, so, like, getting rid of things that your opponent has. Black is usually pretty good for that. Uh, I feel like that's most of really what there is to say there. Uh, red red is kind of known for chaos, anarchy, goblins, fire, doing, like, little, like, chip damage, and also being a nuisance, but, like, in a different way. Like, a lot of the, like, most aggressive decks use red, um, to kill you before you can really do anything about it. So, there's, like, a special, like, hatred for that, I feel like. Um, yeah, there's some, like, card draw in red as well, but, like, usually there's, like, a catch to it. Um, yeah, a lot of goblins and lots of, like, 1 damage to the other person, to chip them down over time. And then green is all about nature, like elves and, like, big creatures like spiders, bears, dinosaurs, some dragons, although there's a little bit of overlap with the dragons. Some of them are in red just because of, like, the fire thing. Um, but yeah, you'll see some of, like, the biggest creatures in green, and green happens to be my favorite color of the 5, and also the color I have the most cards in. So that's probably gonna be a lot of the decks you'll see on this channel. And I should specify, like, when you make a deck, you can choose to include as many colors as you want. The main limiting factor is just, like, being able to play those colors. You need, uh, the right lands to be able to do that, and generally speaking, lands can only give 1 color, or some of them have 2 or 3 to, like, choose from, but, like, you need to have, I mean, if you're gonna make a deck that has more than, like, 2 colors, in it, you need to take serious, like, preparations, like, measures to actually have lands to be able to play, the cards from your deck. And we'll get more into this, in the next videos in this series, but, like, the last is, like, colorless. Colorless has a bunch of artifacts, equipment, that kinda thing, just general utility because it can be put, relatively easily in any deck, um, often forgotten about, and a lot of these are kind of, like, only useful in very specific scenarios, and some of them are very useful in general, but there are very, very few decks that are explicitly colorless, and you probably won't see any of them from my channel just because I don't have the cards, unfortunately. And like I said, I'm a free to play player, so I just kind of all of these cards I've gotten just by playing the game and using, like, wild cards and stuff. Uh, yeah, there's all sorts of interesting artifacts, and then, uh, I guess the last thing would just be lands. Like I said, you need them to play cards. All my next video in this series will probably be about lands, and there's some really interesting ones, but there's really not a whole lot going on there. Um, so yeah, that's like a general overview, I guess, and I'll probably break the series up into videos about each card type and sort of show off some examples and things like that. So the next video will be lands, and then probably after that will be creatures, sorceries, instants, enchantments, artifacts, and then planeswalkers are a big one. Those are really interesting. Um, then I'll cover some other stuff like game modes and obviously gameplay. It probably sprinkled in to show off the cards that I'm talking about on each episode. But yeah, that's like the general roadmap. I don't really have dates or anything that when I'm gonna drop them. It's whenever I have the time, really. Um, hopefully, won't have to wait too long for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Uh, I'll probably be uploading gameplay at the like same time as these videos. Uh, the gameplay is a lot easier to make though, just because I play the game and that's pretty much, the footage is what the footage is. But um, I'm trying to like think this series of like learning magic through a little bit better, just to like make it more understandable and generally easier to digest. And I mean, like, there's no real point in me making these videos if people don't really understand them, you know? So I'll be putting a lot of effort into trying making these good. Uh, in order to do that, I would really like your guys' feedback to help me improve. And if you have any feedback, just write in a comment below. I try to read all my comments and respond to them and all that. Yeah. So that's it for this episode. Hopefully I'll get some more videos out soon. Yeah, that's it.